Hey, how's it going, guys? JP here. Welcome back to Body Bags. This is week number 46, and the theme this week is cannibals, picked by Danny. I thought this was a great theme. I do have a handful of cannibal films that I've never watched, and they are in my collection. So I figured it was a great opportunity to pick one out and watch it. I kind of did it by random almost, and I still need to grab some of the older cannibal films, but this is kind of a newer one, newer-ish, I guess. And it's kind of a blind buy. It was really cheap, $2 or $3, and I figured, what the hell? And it's a Dimension Extreme film, and it is Welcome to the Jungle from the year 2007. Basically follows a group of adventurous couples, two of them, and they heard of Michael Rockefeller. I believe his name was Michael. Yeah, Michael Rockefeller, which is a real living person, or not anymore, I guess, who went to New Guinea back in, I believe, the 60s and was never seen again. He was, I believe, the governor of New York's son or something like that. So they're using real life pop culture things, and they kind of use that in this film. This film is a found footage film, and I'll get to that in a second. But these two groups of boyfriend and girlfriend decide to go into New Guinea, the jungles, and try to find Michael Rockefeller, because there's a legend that he somehow was treated like more of a like god-like thing to a certain tribe, and they kind of worshipped him and kept him, and he was living there ever since. Now he's like a 70-80-year-old man who's living in the jungle with the natives, and they think that this is possible because they've seen some sort of evidence-y type stuff that leads them to believe that he is still alive and he is living with the cannibals. So they figure if they go on an adventure and find him, they could become really rich and famous off of it. So they film the whole thing. Basically, they get there, traveling down the river, looking for him. They start bickering and hating each other. They kind of splinter off and, eventually run into the cannibals. So I'll kind of leave it off at that. This one, okay, first of all, the found footage. I know a lot of people think found footage is completely unnecessary in general, but I think that it really wasn't necessary in this film in particular. I think it would have done fine without it. I think the found footage actually kind of holds it back, except for maybe a few creepy moments that the found footage works in, but really it just felt like it could have been fine without it. There was really nothing that found footage added to this film besides those few small moments. So that was actually kind of weird. I didn't even know this was found footage, but it's one of the rare cases where I'm watching this and I'm watching a found footage film and I'm just like, I don't know why it's found footage. It would have worked fine without it. So that was kind of a negative. The second big thing that I had an issue with is just the characters start bickering and hating each other almost. It's too drastic of a change. It wasn't developed properly. They just are at each other's throats out of nowhere, and even if they are going to be at each other's throats, and even though it seems a bit unrealistic, if these people are kind of like friends and they're in the middle of the damn jungle together, that's probably not the time that you start hating your friends. Even if that unrealistic thing does exist, they still played it bad. They didn't execute it properly. They did it. It wasn't a slow build or anything like that. It was just like one moment they like each other, the next moment they don't, and I thought it was way too drastic, and it was actually really, really annoying. There are a few really cool moments, but this film is just way too long and drawn out for the end result. The end result is good, but it's a lot of sitting through a lot of bad, boring kind of movie to get to that. And I will say that I think a few things that could have helped is maybe explore the jungle a little bit, maybe some wildlife, maybe some talk about food and hunger and lost, and all these different elements that they could have brought to it. But they really focused on the two couples fighting, and it was annoying and it really bugged me. I do think that this film does have a few good moments at the end, though, when shit really starts happening, and I think it's pretty brutal at the end. You know, definitely a little bit chilling. I did enjoy that, but that's about it. I give this film a 6 out of 10. So I'll see you guys next week with another review. Peace out.